So you want to listen to a pretty alright podcast about wrestling, do ya? Well, the natural lag, Jet Swag, has said time and time again that there's only one podcast that's the most decent and the most alrightest in the industry today. And that's it's the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. Oh, yes. God damn, I love hearing that fucking song come on. And when you hear that theme song hit and you hear us come on, you hear the lovely voices of me, Josh, alongside good buddy Adam.
Yes, hello. Howdy.
And when you hear the beautiful words come out of our mouths, there's only one question that we have for you. And that's, so you want to listen to a pretty alright podcast about wrestling, do you? Well, here it is. It is truly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most decent and the most alrightest podcast in the professional wrestling podcast industry today. And this is the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. And today, we're going to be discussing the aftermath, essentially, of WrestleMania 40 and other topics. But before we get there, I want to tell a little story that I think is fucking hilarious real quick.
Okay.
And so this happened the other day. Hanging out with our good buddy, friend of the show, Ian, who went with us to go see the WWE live show back in, what was that? Just November last year or December, whenever the fuck that was. So we were just dicking around, and I don't know why we just were randomly. I think I did it once. I just did I did the whoa, like I just did it just to be a dickhead. And then we would randomly start singing the lyrics that are the lead up to that, and then just randomly throughout the night, just pop a whoa, like as part of that. And so we got to the part where the line for the song is "Can't Take My Freedom." All right. That's the line that's in the song. And so it was his turn to sing that portion of the line of the song. And he goes, this is what he says. He says, "Don't test my freedom." And I was like, wait, what did you just fucking say? And he says, "Don't test my freedom." And I was like, that's what you think the line is? And he's like, yeah, it's not "Don't test my freedom." And I'm like, well, it was "Can't take my freedom," but "Don't test my freedom" is so much better that is now what the line to the song is. I don't care what anybody fucking says. "Don't test my freedom" is now the line in that Cody Rhodes theme song. And I've been going around saying that almost nonstop since this has happened. And so it really got me thinking that we should really do some kind of a shirt that's like the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. Don't test our freedom. Like, or I could apply that to the Central Unintelligence Podcast and make that the new line. Don't test our freedom. Like, I got to use that in some way because it's just so good. And I asked him, I'm like, how would you test someone's freedom? Would you say, oh, are you allowed to buy guns? Are you allowed to go, I don't know, say things you want to say? Like, I don't know what the litmus test is for freedom. And I also thought it would be kind of funny if we then sold a kit that was called the Freedom Test Kit. And it's just like a paper that's like got check boxes on it. And then you can just say like, oh, can you do this? Yes. Can you do that? No. And then if you answered enough of the yeses and not enough of the nos, then your freedom has been tested and you've successfully passed the freedom test or whatever, something to that effect. So I thought that was fucking hilarious. And I just wanted to bring that story up real quick because, man, it is. And it's so funny how we make some assumptions about, you know, what the lyrics are sometimes because we think we hear it one way. But then when you actually hear what the lyric is, you're like, God damn, that wasn't even fucking close. Yeah. It wasn't even fucking close. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. And before we get also into the thing, I wanted to tell a little thing about how I saw a thing about LA Knight. And
Think about LA Knight.
yeah, I saw a little thing online about LA Knight. And it's not well, I mean, to me, I think it's bad, but it's not like bad in the sense that you're thinking, oh my God, what did he do? No, it's nothing like that. It's actually really awesome what he did, but it also indicates to me how truly buried LA Knight really fucking is. So I was scrolling through the Instagram and I somehow came across this special needs individual who was attending WrestleMania 40 with his mom and some of his family members, right? And they're all out having a great time. And this kid was talking about how he had such a great time and it was so fun. And they're getting on, it's not the subway because they don't have that there, but it's like some kind of a train. I don't know if it's like an elevated train or whatever the fuck it's called.
Monorail?
Monorail, maybe, yeah. So they're getting on that. And they're going, I don't know, it's like the next day. It's like the day after WrestleMania. And there's not a lot of people around on this train, but they get on, and who's there getting on with them? It's fucking LA Knight getting on the monorail. And I thought he was just walking by to maybe get into his Uber Black or whatever the fuck it is, his executive level Uber that they got. No, he's there and he's standing with the kid and they're talking and he takes a bunch of selfies with the kid. And then he says, oh, hey, let me help you with your bag. Cause LA Knight has like 3-4 fucking his whole luggage with him. He's got like 3 or 4 different luggage things with him. And he's like, oh, hey, he helps the kid. He helps them get all their shit on. And then he goes to grab his shit and then he gets on. And then the kid looks at him like, are you riding this thing? And he's like, yeah, I gotta go to the airport or whatever. And I was like, they can't even get him his own fucking Uber to take him to the fucking airport. So here he is sitting with this kid on this fucking train, LA Knight, just going to the airport to leave out of Philadelphia to wherever the fuck they were going next. And it was a cool thing to see. It was cool. And man, LA Knight put up with this fucking kid. And yeah, listen.
What do you mean put up?
Well, hold on. Because when you're a celebrity, right? As I am, like when I go out and people want autographs and they want, fucking shit, they want to take selfies and stuff. Yeah, it's cool and all, but I'm not Cody Rhodes, all right? I'm not sitting around signing everybody's fucking autographs. I'm not a good dude, all right? And eventually, someone wearing on me for a whole train ride, I would fucking probably be an asshole by the end of it, right? But that's just who I am. I'm an asshole. But LA Knight also just generally seemingly a good dude because he sat there with this kid, was taking stuff. They had a whole great time on this fucking train. Now, granted, I did notice that there really wasn't a lot of other people on the train. So this could be fake. This could be scripted. I don't know.
It's also Philadelphia, no offense.
That's true. That's true. But
not California.
Right, true. But it is the day after WrestleMania, so you would think all those 100,000 people fucking would need to go to the airport to leave, right? So you'd think maybe they'd also be, man, well, they probably got Ubers. So fucking, because there were clearly plenty available that LA Knight, because LA Knight didn't get one. He got left behind and had to take the train.
Average man, fucking LA Knight, dude.
And that does endear me to him more. Because I get that, man. I get what that's like to fucking be busting your ass and doing all this shit and doing what's best for the business. But then, man, they couldn't even do you the decency of getting you your own car to go to the airport. I mean, Christ, an Uber would have been like $9 to go to the airport, but yet they probably paid 15 or 20 for him to take this other public transport. Christ, you might as well put him on the bus at that point. Put him on a regular ass city bus. Get him a bus pass and just say, here you go, LA Knight. Free reign for the weekend. Don't worry. Transportation's on us. Here's your bus pass. And to me, I feel like, again, as Cody Rhodes is sitting there at the end of his fucking conversation or at the end of his press conference after WrestleMania, he's talking about how he was really excited to see Randy Orton come out and be there with him because, Randy, like after his match is done, he just gets on his bus and leaves. So it was really glad of me. I was really happy to see that he stayed to be out there with me, one of my mentors, like when I, won the title, right? Okay, yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I'm sure most of those guys have their own buses or at least have rides to the airport. And here goes LA Knight schlepping it in a fucking public transportation monorail.
Not even the Slim Jim mobile is available for him to run into the ground for all the dates that he has to make.
They could have at least let him drive that to the airport and then had a Slim Jim employee take it.
That's the worst part is that was advertised in WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that he was driving the fucking thing. And he's not even driving it.
Not even in it. So I just want to say LA Knight, and furthering my love and appreciation and also respect for LA Knight, because it takes a special person, man, to be able to put up with that shit. And yeah, granted, sure, he's probably getting paid pretty decent, but I mean, just to, okay, cool, I'll take the fucking train. I do think that this is indicative of he's probably not getting a push anytime soon towards anything. And I do feel like now his days are numbered in WWE. And that makes me sad because I don't think AEW is going to know what to do with him.
I think he's main event material.
Of course he is.
For AEW. I mean, he's
main event material for WWE.
Yeah, but they also have people, because I don't think it works out well for people that come in that they don't become champion for a minute. Because it's like these were the people that came. Let's say, who's at the top of the game? It's fucking Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah.
Well, Roman Reigns, well, let's just say, we'll go with Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins was in Ring of Honor before he was in NXT, right? But he still technically went through the ranks of NXT.
Right.
And came up through the top, right? So it's almost, it's basically within the organization itself, right?
Yeah.
Why are they going to have somebody that like LA Knight come in and be fucking champion when I don't want to say he just got there and he's paid his dues and everything. But it's like, we already have Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Right. They don't need another top guy like at this moment. So,
and he's also, fuck, I feel like an asshole for saying this. I don't know what his age is.
Yeah, he's older. He's like in his 40s. He's late 30s, early 40s.
At best, he could be a stopgap champion for Cody Rhodes. If he ends up losing the title, then you put the strap on LA Knight a few times, and it's probably going to be like 60 days.
I don't think he even goes against Cody Rhodes. I think he goes the other way. I think he goes for the other title. I think that's where they could potentially put him, because right now with Damian Priest as the fucking champion, I don't know. Listen, again, Damian Priest is also in his mid 40s, an older gentleman, older than LA Knight even, and seemingly in less shape than LA Knight. LA Knight at least looks better. So they put the strap on that old dude. So maybe they're gonna do an old dude trade off. Maybe he's gonna get drafted to Raw, and then or I'm sure Damian Priest will get drafted to SmackDown, and now all the world titles will be on SmackDown, and the Universal titles will be on fucking Raw, right? I'm sure that's probably how it's gonna go, shake out potentially. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that, but I do think you could utilize LA Knight in a better way, and I do think you could at least give him something, because he elevates things. I mean, now that we've got basically Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental Champion, which I don't hate Sami Zayn.
Me neither.
I just don't think that I don't think he was the guy. That wasn't good for Gunther to have him lose the title to Sami Zayn. Sure, it was a good story, but it wasn't good for Gunther as a character.
Chad Gable was the guy.
That was the guy.
It made sense. Oh shit. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I'm still on about LA Knight saying that, man, like the people that ended up crossing over from, let's say, WCW or ECW, I don't know if they got their due like right a fucking way. Right away.
No, they did. They weren't made. Okay, again, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero didn't get made champions until WrestleMania 20, basically, or that year, 2004.
That was like when they were in their 40s or late 30s, 40s.
Right. And so, but guess what? Both of them did. Both of them were multiple-time Intercontinental, multiple-time European champions, multiple-time tag team champions. LA Knight's been here for what, 2 years in WWE? And I don't think he's held a single belt. I may be wrong, but I can't remember any title runs of any sort for LA Knight. No gold has been adorning the chiseled waist of LA Knight in the WWE. And that's a mistake.
I will throw in another example out there. Bryan Danielson was somebody that ran the gamut of being in every fucking promotion. every independent promotion was a known name. WWE signed him, went through NXT, and he didn't become like main event material till WrestleMania fucking
30, right?
30, I think. Or he wasn't a major player until that point, because I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon saw him as too small, didn't have the build, he honestly didn't have the mic skills, because I saw his old promos and shit. And
I mean,
like,
listen,
he wasn't that guy. He was the wrestler. He was a wrestler. He became that.
Yeah.
But it took him a long time. And I feel like it was because partially he was coming in from the outside. And I feel like I'm defeating my point, because technically he went through NXT as much as Seth Rollins did and all that shit. But all to say, really, that if you start somewhere else and you made your name somewhere else, that you already feel like you're starting a league behind everybody else that's running through like NXT and all that shit.
Well, here's the other thing. AJ Styles made his name literally everywhere else, but they didn't make him go through NXT. They put him straight in because, again, he was headlining New Japan, which arguably is, at least internationally, just as big as WWE. So if you can, and that's why I think when Cody Rhodes came back, they didn't send him through NXT again. They because again, he was a headliner. He was a main event fucking guy already. And I think that when you take some of these dudes, and I think that was a Vince McMahon thing for the most part, was you take guys who are main eventers from other companies and you take them and you throw them in NXT to tell everyone, you came from the minor leagues, you need to learn how it's done here. And I get that to a certain extent of you want them to learn the system. But again, Robert Roode is a fucking dude who they fucking totally mishandled, in my opinion. Bobby Roode is his name in WWE. That guy in TNA and every other promotion, that guy was fucking great. He was gold. And the second they came in, brought him in, they threw him in NXT and they gave him this like fucking okay kind of gimmick. And it was all right. And then as soon as they brought him to the main roster, they just totally fucking abandoned all that shit. And now I don't even know I think he's still there, but I don't think he fucking does anything. So that was a complete misuse of resources. And I think that's a Vince McMahon thing. They don't want guys who were top guys in other companies to come in and be top guy here. And now the fact of the matter is that Vince is out. So now it's not really the case, obviously. So now things have started to change. Hopefully, I don't know how I feel about, talking about other guys jumping over from other promotions, Kazuchika Okada going into AEW, right, as of the last few months.
I think his stock has fucking gone all the way down with AEW. Yeah. He had a match with fucking Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was awful.
And I've seen Okada matches that, he's fought guys and sold out. He fought Shinsuke Nakamura in one of the fucking, I don't know what the fuck they call it in New Japan, the WrestleMania, but like he fought a bunch of dudes. And he was the fucking man over there, selling out arenas bigger than anything AEW has done. And I know that in AEW and New Japan kind of have a thing going on with each other, but I feel like he would have been much better served coming to the WWE. And Christ, not that I would want to see this, but he'd be much better served starting in NXT and then getting thrown into the fucking main roster than whatever the fuck AEW is doing with him.
Yeah, man. Well, was there more to add about that?
About him specifically, or just the LA Knight thing? I think I already.
The Okada.
Oh yeah, no, I just think that he's being mishandled, and I think that's indicative of AEW's
continued woes.
Yeah, or I don't want to say it's not. I don't think it's incompetence. I just think they don't have the right people making the right decisions. I don't know if it's, like I said, straight incompetence, but it's just. I think there are people within the organization that they have there that could be making these proper decisions, but they're just not in positions to do that. And I think that's a fucking mistake.
Yeah, I think the Tony Khan experiment is coming to a head. It's not looking... I don't think it's looking promising when the seats... It's visibly noticeable that the seats aren't being filled and they're still throwing money at people trying to clickbait their way. Oh, you got to see fucking AEW, the next television pay-per-view, or even the pay-per-view itself. Tony Khan announces the next big thing, the next revolution, and it's like Mercedes Moné. Don't care.
Yeah, you're getting, again, and that's the thing that sucks for them, is they're the majority of their people that are coming over are either has-beens or never was from the WWE. And we already seen that shit, man. Like, they're not really developing new talent. That's where they're fucking up, I think, yeah, you got like Hook, right? Like Taz's son. Okay. That's a dude that you could very well develop into he's like your homegrown AEW talent, right? Darby Allin kind of could have been another one that you could have utilized in that manner. But all they're doing is pushing these. Now, this is going to maybe be a hot take, but they're pushing the rejects from WWE. The people that are bouncing from WWE, they're just pushing those people. And, again, not that I dislike a lot of these people or anything like that. I like Samoa Joe. I just think that AEW's pushing backing the wrong horses here, with these people that they're doing shit with, or they're not doing shit correctly with them, I feel like. But again, that's just my Monday morning quarterbacking it. But, and as a fan of what I would like to see, sure, I know we're not going to get to see all the shit that we always want to see, right? But when you're consistently making bad decisions and it's reflecting in your audience, because yeah, man, I see those pictures of people that are there and there's like no one at AEW shows. If I went to an AEW show, I'd be pissed if I paid for a ticket, like full price, and there's like nobody there. I'd be like, fuck this, I'm gonna go sit up in the front. Like, I'm gonna sit in the floor seats. Fuck that. Why not? No one's there. And I think that's what they've been doing. I think they've been pulling everybody from like the nosebleeds. So that's why I was like, oh, dude, if they do one out here, we should go and get nosebleeds, and then we'll probably get pulled down to sit on the floor because no one's gonna fucking be there. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, now anyways, back to the Gunther shit.
Back to the Gunther shit.
I still think it was a missed opportunity to put the strap on Chad Gable, because to me, the theme of WrestleMania 40 was the Philadelphia Cinderella story for a lot of the matches.
Yeah.
For Roman Reigns, it was the Cinderella story that it couldn't be done, that he could beat Roman Reigns. For Gunther, it was David versus Goliath, and nothing embodied David versus Goliath more than Chad Gable and Gunther, and they already had history. And Gunther beat him, I think, on 2 separate occasions, and I think the third time, or rather, one of their interactions on Raw was he told him that it must suck that you get to lose in front of your family. It became personal at that point for Chad Gable. So it made sense to me that WrestleMania 40 Intercontinental Championship featured Chad Gable and Gunther. So I didn't hate the Sami Zayn and Gunther match, but it's what could have been. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think what could have been was superior. Because again, they just did that same story with Sami Zayn. They shoehorned him in there instead of it being Chad Gable. Yeah. And now you've taken Chad Gable and you basically turned him heel. Because you can't and he's going to be the one that's going to be facing likely Sami Zayn for or some shit. Because you can't have Sami Zayn's face. You don't want to have 2 face fucking people having a match. Generally, so you got to turn one of them heel, and at least the internet wrestling community has speculated that Chad Gable will now be known as
Perk Angle.
Perk Gable.
Perk Gable. Oh yeah,
he's tapping into the unhinged side of himself, and now we will be getting. He is basically like a modern fucking Kurt Angle. Yeah, for all intents and purposes. So,
and really, they should bring back that whole gimmick and have the world's greatest tag, or they call it America's greatest tag team, or I don't know, something like that. And that'd be dope. I'd be down for that. Yeah, but they're probably not going to do that. So who knows where they're going to go with that? But do you have anything else about Chad Gable? Because I agree with you. I feel the same. So.
No, okay, that was more or less it. But do you have the next?
Yeah, I did want to go into the. Yes, it was nice to see R-Truth and The Miz get titles. Right, it was cool to see that.
Oh, here we go.
Awesome Truth.
Here we go.
However, why? Why do you fuck? Okay, again, most people don't like those. They're the nickels, but
most people don't like those. I hate them.
Okay, with the Spartan helmets or whatever. Okay, most people hate those. However, basically copying the World Heavyweight design is not fucking better. It's not better. And objectively, I think it's worse. I think it's worse fucking. I didn't think you could get worse than that. But now I actually like those titles compared to what they look like now.
No, you fucking don't.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's horseshit.
I wouldn't buy the penny ones. I'd buy the silver ones that were the Raw ones. Okay, they're the red and silver. I'd buy those. Okay, before I ever bought these new World Heavyweight Championship ripoff fucking tag team belts. And now this is my other question. What happened to the belts? Why are all the belts now looking the same? You've got the World Heavyweight title, the Women's World Heavyweight title, and the World Tag Team Championships all basically are the same fucking belt. Slight variations, obviously, but they're basically the same looking belt. The WWE Universal title and the Women's Universal title, same exact fucking belt. Now you've got the I'm sure they're going to change the fucking... I didn't see if they changed the World Tag Team titles tonight, or the SmackDown ones, but I'm sure they're going to change those to just have the WWE logo. It's going to look the exact same.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, shit.
Okay, because why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't they? Now, I'm afraid they're going to change the U.S. title, and they're just going to make it a red, white, and blue WWE logo, which would be cool. But it's the way we have that. I think they'll change the Intercontinental title to look just like that fucking World Heavyweight title, because why not? Why fucking not? They're doing it. I feel like that's their move. And I hate it. I think it's the stupidest idea ever. I like there being a differentiation of the belts. I like it so that they look so drastically different that you know who's who. You know what's what. Now I might not know. I might be like, oh, fuck, is that the Intercontinental? Is that the shit? Well, obviously you know it's the women's title because it'll be on a female. But who the fuck knows? I hate it. I think it's the worst fucking decision they've ever made. And I don't know who's behind it. I don't know if this was already in the motions of Vince's remaining things. And then like, they were like, shit, we've already paid all this money because those belts are like 10 grand a pop. Like they're like, fuck, we don't want to fucking just get rid of these. So fuck it. We'll just use them. I don't know if that's what's going on, or if they were like, hey, we need to get away from this Vince McMahon shit and we need to change everything to make everything different. So let's get Let's get all new belts. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but
yeah, I think there is something a bit of a problem with the homogenous nature of the belts all looking more or less the same. I mean, it was nice to have diversity in the appearance of each of them. I mean, fuck, the Intercontinental title when Jericho had it, it looked like one of those pennies that you roll out in the machine.
Yeah, I have that belt. Yeah,
I like that one.
That's my favorite Intercontinental belt.
I like that one. And I feel like they should bring something back to diversity in shapes and
also colors, because now there's no color in them anymore. Whereas you had that one, it had the blue because the oceans were blue, and then the WWF logo was like red, and it was like, it looked cool as shit. The US title was literally, I mean, now it's mostly gold. It's got a little bit of red, white, and blue on it, but not a whole shit ton. But the whole belt, when they first brought that back, was just a United States flag. I have that belt. It's the best one that they fucking had. The European title was very fucking color. It had some greens. It had some fucking,
flags.
Had all the flags around it that were all in color. That was cool as shit. Hell, the tag team titles, those original World Tag Team titles, they were all fucking colored out and looked cool. And even when they switched to the two brands, you had the Raw ones that were a completely different design, and they were red and black, and they had all these cool sweet colors on them. Then you go to the SmackDown ones that were basically that same design as that WWF old World Tag titles, but they were all blue. That was cool as shit. But they were so very distinct from one another. I didn't agree with them taking the penny and the nickel and making them the tag team titles looking exactly the same. I never agreed with that either. I thought that was dumb. I also thought having the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title be looking essentially exactly the same except for a slightly different color profile. I also hated that too. And now they've gone to the one option that was worse than all of that, and now they all just look the same. That's it. Like, instead of there being maybe some differentiations in color, no, they're all just going to be they're just going to look exactly the same. And that is fucking sad. Because I love the belt, man. The belts are part of the pageantry of it. It's the part of what makes the allure of, oh man, that belt looks so... And again, my favorite belt of all time is the big gold belt, right? The original, the WCW World Heavyweight title that was the WWE World Heavyweight title when it came over to being on Raw or whatever. That belt is the best belt ever made. And yes, there's no color. It's solid gold. But to me, it just proves that you can have too much of a good thing. And not every title should look like that. So I hope they fucking do something with this and they change it.
I don't think the world heavyweight title is all. I don't think it's trash either.
No, the actual belt itself is nice. The new one, I like it. It's a callback. It's a modern version of that big gold belt, which is why I like it. I just hate that all the other belts on that show are now going to look like a ripoff of that, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I hate.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out tomorrow on SmackDown what the case is for the
if they change
the SmackDown champions for the tag team champs for SmackDown. I don't have anything else to add for as far as the title belts go.
Yeah, neither do I. That's it. That's all I got for that.
I guess to tie into potentially LA Knight getting skimped out of making finding his own means of transportation. It does seem to me that the WWE is cutting corners, or what do they call it? Optimizing
Efficiency, financial efficiency is what they're going for.
Yeah, financial efficiency. Whatever.
But buying Cody Rhodes a fucking $2 million bus is not financial efficiency.
Okay, I don't have anything to add for that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
you could have bought him an Uber. I'm not saying you got to buy him a bus. I'm just saying you could have got him at least a fucking Uber.
What I'm getting to is that things being taken away in terms of the product itself.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel as though scaling back the entrance stage is a little bit of a mistake to me. Now you got half the fucking stage.
Yeah, I agree. It's terrible. I don't like it.
And at least from what I heard or saw from the interview with Triple H, Paul Levesque talking about what things will be going on forward for live events and such, was that they were going to be scaling back. They're going to be scaling back the entrance stage. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Cause that's half the fun, dude, is when you were watching Raw or SmackDown, man, when the fucking fist would come through, or the pyrotechnics would go off, and you're like, it's Monday night, dude. It's fucking Monday night. You're excited. You see the fucking, the early 2000s Raw stage with the iron and the sparks, and you're like, fuck yeah, dude, this is great. Like, this is, I'm ready for some wrestling.
Yeah,
and now we're scaling that back so we can fit more people in the arena. I understand you guys want to make money because TKO probably wants to get every fucking dollar back that they spent for WWE. And that starts with, how do we fit more people into a fucking arena?
Yeah.
And maybe cost efficiency. Let's scale back the fucking production of the product itself.
Yeah, because if you shrink the stage, you can fit more people in there, and you don't need to hire more people. You can cut your staff that builds the fucking stages, because let's be honest, they tear them up and take them down every time they go somewhere. So, I also, like we've talked about in the past, I also do miss each pay-per-view having its own unique stage. I'll say this: if they're going to scale back the stage for Raw and SmackDown, I will allow it if that means they're going to bring back unique stage props and shit like that for the premium live events. If they're going to do that, I think I'm down. I'm tired of just seeing WrestleMania be the only fucking one that gets its own thing. I'd rather see specific themed,
set pieces.
Yeah. For the premium live events now is what they're called. So I would be okay with this scaling back if they're going to then take that savings and efficiency and apply it to every month, sometimes twice a month, we just design a little setup that's specific to that pay-per-view. I think that would be fucking cool. I don't think they're going to do that, which then leads me to believe, because basically all they were doing was just using the same set at the pay-per-view and just putting up. Is this now going to be the new set at the pay-per-view? Because that's ass. That is double ass. I just am like, nope. Get the fuck out of here.
I think you saw the problem with it when I don't remember who was. I think it was Cody or Paul Heyman on SmackDown or Raw were being shown some video, and they had to roll out a fucking TV. And there was no Titantron.
You know what's funny? It was the old when we were kids and you saw the fucking the VCR with that
the
TV.
rolling cart.
Yeah, the rolling cart with the CRT television on it, man.
So that to me was problematic because I think the Titantron is essential
It's a necessity
to storytelling, for plot, for a mechanism to show different things, to get points across and all that shit. And now it's scaled back, and now you can only see it on. Well, I mean, for the people in the ring itself, they have this little rolling cart screen or whatever. And then to the viewer, it's like not really a problem, but it is because it was, again, it adds to the production of the fucking show itself when Cody Rhodes is looking at the Titantron and you can see Roman Reigns on the screen and they're having it. It's cool. Like, it's cool. I don't know.
Like, he's looking at the Titantron and they're having a conversation with each other. Like, that was those, like, the run-ins that could have, like, that, man, that was so cool.
It feels like if that to me is when it creates wonder. To me, it creates like childlike wonder, larger than life scenarios, things like that. That's what's being taken away from us.
Agreed. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it, Bagel.
So it hasn't happened just yet, but it happened for WrestleMania where there was advertisements in the ring. So Prime being in the center of the ring, it feels like a distraction to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's only a matter of time before we see just the regular shows, both SmackDown and Raw, potentially NXT, where advertisements are plastered all over the ring mat.
I think we're going to have a full UFC style setup where there's just shit the whole ring floor is going to be just fucking advertisements.
And I think the only defense, or one of the defenses of how the only way that I can digest this is if it means that each individual pay-per-view gets its own look. That's the only way that you can justify it to me.
Yeah. I'd be okay with it. Again, I will overlook these things if we get that individual look again. I don't think we're going to get it. I'm very depressed by this. This makes me want to cry. And it just makes me further miss the old wrestling, man. It just, everything was just better about how it was, man, back in the day. And I know that, you can't necessarily go back and recapture that, but fuck, you sure can at least try. And this is the polar opposite of trying, in my opinion. And I'm not down. I'm not down for it. The storylines, sure, we're starting to see a shift. We're starting to see that escape of this PG era hell that we've been in with the WWE for the last decade almost. And I'm glad it's ending. I'm glad that the PG shit is going away, or it's transitioning away. We probably won't see the full transition until Raw goes to Netflix. We won't see a full scale, because after that, anybody that's on Raw, you're not on any cable television. You are on Netflix and you are on pay-per-view. That's it. That's all your or premium live events. So you could pretty much do whatever the hell you want. So I kind of hope that that's going to play in well to the future, because if they don't take full advantage of that, I don't know, I may be taking a break from fucking WWE again, because I can't do all of this horse shit and it just be for children. I also can't do it all. I was willing to overlook a lot of the mainly PG stuff just because there wasn't all this extra superfluous shit. But now that we're getting all this superfluous shit, something's got to give. So, and again, AEW is not helping me. AEW does not do it for me anymore. I just don't care. I feel like they missed all of the opportunities to do the stuff that made me care. After Sting retired, now I really don't give a shit about AEW. And it sucks to say that, because I like wrestling. I'm more interested to see what's going on in New Japan than I am in fucking what's going on in AEW. Because guess what? All those assholes that are in AEW are also wrestling in New Japan. John Moxley is the fucking AEW or the IWGP fucking champion right now for New Japan. I am more interested in that storyline than I am for anything that's going on in AEW. And I'm actually interested to watch, I think it's coming up in June, maybe, the AEW and New Japan, that Forbidden Door pay-per-view. We're going to do a live fucking stream of that. I'm telling you right now, we're going to do it. And I'm going to buy the pay-per-view or the event on whatever it's on, and we're going to live stream it fucking just like we did for WrestleMania with the projector. That was fucking awesome. That's the coolest thing we ever did. And Adam posted on our social media page, the Game Rage Magazine page, he posted like a picture of like kind of our setup. And yeah, we had this 120-inch fucking projector screen, and we just sat in the garage and we fucking did live commentary. And it was fucking awesome. Ate some excellent food. Great time. I love watching wrestling probably now because of that. Again, like it's just another way to make it so that, I'm not just sitting here jerking off watching wrestling. Now we're doing work, having a good time. It's fucking great. So I definitely want to do that for that AEW New Japan pay-per-view.
Okay.
And, just at least, so maybe we'll see some cool shit, I feel like, at that. And then, see where it goes from there with them. And then obviously we're going to be doing Backlash fucking in the middle of whatever godforsaken nighttime it's going to be.
It'll probably be like at let's see, I think they're 8 hours ahead of us. So
well, it just depends what time they start it there. I mean, if they started at 4 p.m. there, it'll be midnight here.
Who the fuck knows? I don't know what's going to happen. But well, yeah, what else did you have to add?
Just that I think that wrestling needs to go back to the old ways of basically, God, I don't know how to say this without, I don't really know how to articulate this, but I'll say it in this fashion. I think the fans have kind of ruined wrestling at this point. I think that all of the, and this isn't the overwhelming majority of fans, I don't think, but it's those people that are I don't know what you want to call them. I guess like us, the smart marks, right? The ones that fucking kind of know what's up and they think they know what's best. But instead of just fucking, continuing to watch wrestling, they ruin it for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's just something about it that just, it just ruins it for everything. And I think that WWE has started responding to that negativity, and they started changing things to appease those assholes. But those assholes don't know what's fucking good. That's the problem. They're just the most vocal. It's like the assholes that are the most vocal or the ones that get heard, and then their needs are starting to be met.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah, exactly. And I heard this fucking thing that Al Snow said the other day, and goddamn if it wasn't the most prolific thing. And it totally is like, yeah, we do this shit and we're guilty of it, but whatever. But he was saying that how opinion is the lowest form of human knowledge. And he basically went on to say how you can form an opinion off of something that's actually factually true, or you could form it off of nothing, or you could form it off of something that's actually not true, and then go around and spread it around and all this stuff. And he was talking about kayfabe and how kayfabe existed to like protect the business, right? So that you don't have people out there. Yeah, there's always going to be people that are going to say, oh, like what you should be doing. But now that the WWE has become so mainstream and everyone has to figure out how everything fucking works, now the kayfabe no longer exists at this point. It's like, it's not really a thing. Like, I don't think. And I think we need to go back to being, you are your fucking character at all times when you're in public. Like, there's no Cody Rhodes the guy versus Cody Rhodes the wrestler, or there's no Randy Orton the dude versus Randy Orton the wrestler. It's you are your character everywhere. Like this, and I think that The Rock and John Cena moving on into movies and becoming actual people, I guess, for lack of a better term, I think that started this trend or this ruination of the kayfabe in professional wrestling, because now we see them as individuals, not as, but yet they maintain, like, John Cena is still John fucking Cena. But like, well, now we see John Cena come out naked at the Oscars like an asshole or whatever the fuck that was. And it's like, okay, well, that's not something that John Cena would do in WWE. So like, now you've just ruined, kayfabe is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. And it makes me sad, because that was part of what I loved about wrestling, was you really didn't know if this was how this motherfucker was. Now they're telling you like, oh yeah, they're definitely not like this. Putting them on reality shows, also terrible fucking idea. I don't think any professional wrestler should be on a reality television show. I think that's dumb as fuck. Killing kayfabe. And I think that's what we need to bring back. It's fucking kayfabe. I'm going to make a shirt and bring back kayfabe. I don't know. God damn it. It just gets me hot.
I'm a kayfabe guy.
I'm a kayfabe. Oh, dude, that's it right there. I'm a kayfabe guy. So
Okay.
yeah, anyway, sorry, go ahead. I ranted, but yes, go ahead.
That's cool. Cool story, bro. Damn, that's crazy. The obligatory response to every
What an asshole.
when you don't give a shit about
Anything that anybody just said, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wow. What a real piece of shit.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I think you made fair points, but it kind of detracted from the thing about that I was getting at with
sorry.
in comparison about the good and bad things that have been applied to the product itself.
Oh, okay.
So we went through all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, there has been
Some good things.
Yeah, there's been some good things, and I have to say that the camera work has definitely been stepped up.
Oh, yeah.
They have the POV camera or like the third person camera that follows, and I don't know if it's been exclusively Sami Zayn or Jey Uso that has gotten this, but they have the camera that follows one person, and it feels like you're kind of you're riding along with them. But they've also gotten, because you see the shots where they have the camera pointing through the ropes and stuff, or things like that. But some people, and I don't know their names because I mean, as far as I know, the cameramen are basically like faceless people. I couldn't attribute who's who, right? But they've been doing interesting things where they'll go to the ring post and get right in the face of what's happening in the corner.
Right, yeah.
And I think the camera work has gotten so much better that it makes me enjoy what's happening in the ring so much more, because there's things that we haven't seen before as far as like angles go. And it almost seems surprising because you think by now we've done everything to, or not me personally, but rather the company itself or any wrestling promotion you think everything's been done, but it hasn't. So it's been cool to see that. And I think definitely maybe potentially the next step would be that at some point they're going to be applying drones.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's the next evolution.
I think that would provide some kind of cool, because you have the fixed camera angle that starts at like the mid height of any arena looking inwards.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But imagine if you had a 360 view on a drone.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that is something that they're probably going to start experimenting with. And I think it'd be cool to have almost like that camera angle in the video game where you're slightly above the ring and you're kind of looking at it from a top-down perspective, but you could just zoom and you could be third person with a drone over somebody's shoulder as they're throwing punches. Or man, that is a fucking true cinematic experience to watch wrestling in. And that's going to be cool as shit whenever they start because I have to feel like it's around the corner.
Yeah.
They're going to start incorporating that stuff.
Yeah. And so the person that Triple H or Paul Levesque has attributed to the changes as far as the production of the thing, or rather the programming itself, is this guy named Lee Fitting, who used to work for ESPN, used to do stuff for Monday Night Football and I think 30 for 30 and all this other shit. I forget what other things he's worked on, but it has seemed noticeable that since this guy started, they've made those changes, and I believe it's because of this specific person that now it's reverberating throughout the product, and I think it's for the better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the things, like we had talked about, is that's one of the better things that have come out of this. And, you know, I have to say that also, I mean, I'm talking shit about a lot of stuff, but I do think that the actual wrestling itself is still on point. Like, it's still good. Now, granted, sure, I do think that having 2 nights of WrestleMania was just excessive, but for the most part, the wrestling is still good. It's still fun to watch. It's entertaining. It's sports entertaining, as they say. And I think that the pageantry of wrestling still is there. Obviously, the entrances are fucking, still great. The music, the theme songs are all fucking pretty good. So that element still exists. That's appeasing my wrestling, I don't know, scratching the itch, I guess. So what else you got that's good? What other things am I leaving out?
That was mostly it. I just wanted to talk about that specifically, but I think we can transition over to the next topic, which is, well, what do you want to do first? Do you want to talk about a bit of the R-Truth stuff, or because I wanted to talk about CM Punk and what his future is.
All right, let's just jump into the CM Punk shit right now.
All right. I think it's happened enough that the injuries have started to mount for CM Punk.
Yeah.
Both in AEW and in the WWE itself, that the recovery period is becoming too long, or the injuries are becoming too frequent. And when I say frequent, yeah, it might be like one every 6 months, but that's still time that you're spending away.
Well, right. Well, like we've said, or we talked about this off the podcast a little bit, but it's the recovery is starting to get longer and longer. And even if the injuries are only, you're going to be out, 4 to 6 months. Well, if they're happening, like this is his second injury in 12 months, 13 months, like a year basically. So if you're looking at, man, you're getting injured twice a year, and each time you're out 4 to 6 months, or even if you're out 3 months, that means you can only wrestle for 6 months out of the year. So that's starting to become an issue now.
It feels as though it's becoming an issue, but there's definitely a way to fix that and still get the CM Punk. And I think he doesn't need to perform. He doesn't need to do in-ring wrestling every fucking week. He's not that guy anymore. He doesn't have to be that guy. He's always been the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Like I think his in-ring ability is undeniable, and his mic skills exceed his in-ring ability, right?
Yeah.
So why not fucking play to that and just figure out a way to get him a Brock Lesnar schedule where he's only appearing every 2 to 3 months on Raw and SmackDown, and then you get him, every 2 or 3 pay-per-views, maybe potentially the big 4. That's where you get him. And if you do want to have him every week, the way to do it is to push him into the managerial role, which makes sense to me, because as a guy that is a thinker or an intellectual, I guess you could say, maybe putting a fucking stable together once more, if not Nexus, then something else. Like maybe it's time to build up the next generation of wrestlers that are going to climb to the main event.
Yeah.
The main event itself. And who better than fucking CM Punk to, I don't want to say coddle, but nurture,
to mentor,
to nurture and mentor the next group of people so that they too can develop their mic skills from probably one of the best talkers in the business.
Yeah.
But let him pull the weight mostly.
Right.
Let him carry.
Yeah. And I think that's the best thing to do, is to either revive the Nexus, because that's kind of what it was. It was him taking NXT people and bringing them up to the main roster and essentially giving them a shot, right? And so I think I think you either do that, or my personal opinion is I think you should bring back the NWO. I just want to see them fucking bring that back, and I think this would be perfect to do it, because CM Punk is rebellious. He's always been kind of an asshole, especially with this whole Jungle Boy bullshit that happened at AEW. What a perfect opportunity to segue that controversy into something for you. You have him say that he's bringing back the NWO. He's tired of this shit, that this was all just a swerve. He really came over here to take over the WWE, because that's all they did with the WCW and NWO thing, is they just said, they alluded to the fact that, these guys came from fucking WWF to take over WCW, and they're doing it under this NWO banner. So fuck, man, if WWE could snake a couple mid-level, another mid-level star, maybe let's just say one mid-level star from AEW and have him show up and then have him start talking shit. And then you could literally repeat the fucking same storyline of having some match happen where now these guys are going in and fucking shit up. And then all of a sudden they at the third man, it's CM Punk. He comes out to fuck and he turns out he's the third man. And this is how you turn him fucking real legit heel. And then you bring in these other guys from whatever, because WWE needs to start progressing their talent, right? They need to start having this newer generation come up because they're very top heavy right now in terms of who they have as talent. Everybody on the roster almost is like some kind of former world champion at some point. I mean, really, it is. So you got to fucking develop the next generation. I think this is the perfect opportunity to do it. And I also think that it would be kind of cool because you could make them just a super stable. You give them the evolution treatment and you just end up letting them collect all the straps. So CM Punk's the whatever world heavyweight champion or whatever you want to call it. Hell, you let him do the Roman Reigns treatment. He only wrestles it, like you said, the big four. You have him wrestle it. He defends the belt at Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and fucking Survivor Series. That's it. That's all the wrestling he's doing. Therefore, limiting the potential for injury to happen. And then if he does happen to get injured, well, it's 3 to 4 months before he's going to wrestle again anyways. So you could just you can get away with it. It's part of the storyline. So you have him, you let these new up and coming people, instead of taking like Hangman Page, man, would be a perfect guy to bring over from AEW. If they could swipe, don't fucking send him to NXT. Let him come in and be in this new stable with fucking CM Punk and shit. That'd be great. Let him fucking be
just like the right hand. Let him be like the right hand man to
CM Punk. Yeah, and you have him be the Intercontinental Champion or something, or you let him do that. You have 2 guys that are a tag team, an up and coming tag team. And Christ, if you do that, you bring in a woman, okay, and you let them all be this new stable, this NWO. Let's say it's going to be like, and then not only you're going to develop them, but then you're going to develop because you're going to have to bring other people in to be their rivals to fight against them that are on their same kind of level. So you're going to develop over the course of, let's say you had them be all the champions for fucking 2 years, or you were going to keep this stable around for 2 years. You just rotate out the players every 6 months of their opponents, basically. And Christ, that means you could develop on top of the 5 to 7 people you're already going to be developing in the stable, because you could have people come and go and stuff as this goes on. You're going to develop maybe 5 to 7 people in this stable itself, but then their opponents, you can have some people trade titles back and forth a couple of times. You're going to develop, if you do that every 6 months, shit, you'll develop an additional, 25, 30 people over the course of 24 months.
You know, at worst, like a dozen people that could be main event.
Yeah, even at worst, 12 people that you could have now carry your tag team division, your mid-level, your mid-card title divisions, and eventually be moved on up to be in that main world title role, you know? And I think that it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't. I don't know if CM Punk's down to do that. I mean, I don't know what his attitude's looking like right now with how he feels or what he wants to continue doing. I was, again, surprised that he even fucking came back to begin with. That was something that was sort of out of left field. So I don't think anyone can predict what he is down for or what he would like to do, because I really don't even know if he knows what he wants to do at this point. So, you know, I'm sure they're going to put him in a program with fucking Cody Rhodes or
Drew McIntyre at
some point. Well, obviously that's what they're doing now, but they're going to put him in some world title picture. Maybe he's going to be the guy that takes it off Damian Priest. I don't know. Or maybe they're going to push Damian Priest and who knows, turn him into something decent. So I guess we'll just have to stay tuned. But I do think that what you're saying is probably the way to go.
What do you think about, okay, I don't think Tiffany Stratton fits in the way of what CM Punk does, because she's kind of posh and
yeah,
it feels like it conflicts with what CM Punk does. But talking about one person that you could add on, you know, a female to a Nexus or a straight edge society, or maybe
like a heel stable.
Yeah, I mean, she already comes across as heel anyway, so it's like, why not put her in? Okay, I don't know if this makes sense or not, but I feel when you lose in a stable, like when you're a singles competitor,
yeah,
I don't know if the losses hurt as bad as if you were an individual just by yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I think that's true. I don't think that the losses really affect you at all when you're in a stable.
You still look cool and you still look badass, or you still look formidable.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also, I think that would be. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think it ends up protecting her if she is as good as I think she is, or if the WWE thinks if she's as good as they think she is, that she'll be protected if she ends up being in a group. Even if she takes losses, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
She'll get to where she needs to go with a stable.
Right.
It's like a security blanket.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's probably would be an excellent move for them to utilize her because she's got the raw talent. And you could easily turn that with that gymnastics shit that she does, man. You could easily turn that into a heel type character of how she's just better than you, like, you know.
Yeah, and the vain, the poshness, the vanity, the poshness. It just, I don't know. It just maybe not aesthetically, but just the persona. Is complimentary to a CM Punk to me.
Yeah, and honestly, even if you just, I mean, let's just say you wanted to give her a manager, CM Punk would be a great mouthpiece for her to have in her corner, essentially, because CM Punk's kind of a dickhead and he's an asshole, and she's, you know, she's not necessarily that crude, I guess, for lack of a better term, but sometimes those combinations are what really works. Is, you know, you have the opposites kind of picking up the spots where the other one doesn't have, and it just works out. And I think that's fucking probably a hell of an idea.
Like Daniel Bryan and fucking Kane.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
And I don't know if I have anything else to add other than, man, that little piece of R-Truth, when, you know, us talking about the belts themselves.
Yeah.
R-Truth calling Triple H Tommaso Ciampa. His idiocy is fucking next level, dude.
Oh yeah, and it's like you had said, it takes a genius to play a moron.
Yeah.
And that's truly what we're seeing right now. We're seeing R-Truth, the genius, play this amazing character.
Yeah.
And see, I see you behind your lies. I see you in there. Tommaso Ciampa. Like, that was fucking hilarious.
Every time he's on screen, dude, it's fucking gold, dude. It is the best. And if it didn't look stupid to have a tinfoil hat, the patented R-Truther fucking tinfoil hat, I'd wear it everywhere, but I don't want to look like a fucking idiot. I don't have the balls that R-Truth has to be an idiot.
Man, I wonder if we can get R-Truth to wear an official Game Rage magazine R-Truth or tinfoil hat. That'd be so. If I could send it to him and just be like, I mean, I basically just make it out of actual Reynolds wrap and then just fucking write Game Rage magazine on there, R-Truth or tinfoil hat, in like fucking Sharpie, and then just send it to him. And then we'll be even doper is if he actually did wear it on something and then fucking signed it and sent it back to us. That'd be fucking cool as hell.
Yeah. And the last thing, I'm already tired of the Cody Rhodes title reign.
I know we were all saying we wanted it, but now, like, literally the next night, I'm like, get this fucking guy out of here. I can't fucking handle this. We want to be edged. We don't want to actually get a nut, because the second you edged us for 2 years on Cody Rhodes, and now that we got the nut. Now I want nothing to do with Cody fucking Rhodes. It's just like, you know, you bone a girl, you get that nut, and then you don't want to cuddle. You want nothing to do with them. I want to be done with you. Go away. Cody Rhodes, go away. I want Roman Reigns back.
Yeah. So nothing else to add, but yeah, this is a pretty fun episode to talk, just to catch up on a little bit of the recap, aftermath of WrestleMania, and to touch on the first couple weeks of what is the new status quo.
Yeah.
And there is one topic I would like to address. I felt like we were getting towards the end, but then I just remembered that I wanted to talk about this because it is kind of pivotal. And it is the WWE draft.
Well, yeah.
It has meaning. It doesn't have meaning, because what ends up happening is that everybody eventually crosses over to both programs when some bullshit happens.
Right.
And then everything just goes out the window.
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter.
However, I think the case for that shit happening in the future might actually be limited. And I think this is due potentially to the Netflix deal that when the WWE draft happens, that they will have a say what stars they want to have on their programming, because they got to sell the subscriptions.
Right.
So it should technically happen in this fucking year, the coming months, or rather in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like it should happen now, but according to Paul Levesque from the media scrum that happened after WrestleMania, that Netflix does not have any part in what happens as far as the WWE goes. But I think you can come to a conclusion that Cody Rhodes will end up being
on Raw, yeah.
On Raw, or stay on Raw.
Yeah. That's the only way that they're going to do it. Why would you not want the biggest star that they have right now on your show when it goes to Netflix? Like, that's just what you want. So, yeah, I have a feeling that he's just the draft will happen, because obviously I'm sure they're going to say everyone's up for grabs right now. And then I'm sure that title and all the WWE Universal shit is going to get drafted conveniently over to Raw. So,
and I think if Netflix is strong about winning over people to watch Raw on Netflix, I think you have to have Rhea Ripley on. You have to have her stay on there.
Yeah, well, I mean, she fucking is injured and had to give up the title right now. So, yeah, of course she's going to stay on there. And, of course, she's going to... Well, what'll end up happening is when she comes back, that's when it'll be the WWE Women's Universal title or whatever that she's going to go after, because that's the show she's going to be on. She's going to be on Raw. So you're going to see all the heavy hitters come to or stay on Raw, and basically SmackDown's going to go back to being the B show again. You know, that's kind of what it'll end up being. So until it comes to Netflix eventually, and then it won't matter. Then it'll just be everything's on there. And then I think I think they should just get rid of the brand split altogether. I feel like we should just go back to one fucking thing again. Get rid of these double titles. Just fucking, yes, do more singles titles. Have one tag team title championship. That's all. You don't need two. All right, just have the one. And then
that way the duos or tag teams themselves, it'll be saturated.
Yeah,
but they're all vying for
one belt,
one fucking title.
Yeah, and it'll make it interesting.
Yeah,
and then you bring back the European title, bring back the fucking cruiserweight title. You can bring back whatever fuck else other titles you want, and just have more mid card titles to make up for it, and then you're good to go. You know, so that's what I think they should do. But anyways, all right. So that'll be it. That's pretty much the end of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right, cool. Well, anyways, if you want to listen to our other stuff, you can listen to the music, All Gas No Trash. You can listen to the Anime Syndicate, But Fuck Nowhere Show, Central Intelligence Podcast. Oh, fuck, there's a ton of them. You can go to GameRageMagazine.com where you can check out all our other ones. And actually, I think I say shit at the end of this episode, so I guess we'll just... Oh, I'm sorry. Jet Swag says shit at the end of this episode. So...
Bro, kayfabe, asshole.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Yeah. So anyways, fucking go listen to other shit. You can follow Adam on All Gas No Trash Official at Instagram, and you can follow all of us at, all of our things on Game Rage Magazine, Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit. Go fuck yourselves. All right. I guess we'll... Wait a minute. Where's the thing? There it is. Yeah. All right, cool. That's the end of the episode. So fuck. Sorry, LA Knight. R-Truth, expect your fucking thing in the mail. It's coming soon. All right. That was another wonderful, amazing, powerful episode of the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. And take it from me, ladies and gentlemen, the natural lad, Jet Swag. If there's one podcast, one show you should be listening to, that you should be absolutely grateful for, it's the Game Rage Wrestling Podcast. And one of the things you can do to show your appreciation for all the hard work and dedication that these boys put out day in, day out, just for you people, it's that you can go and you can subscribe and you can like and follow them on the Instagram and the TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. You can also follow them and like them and subscribe to them on the old Twitter, which I don't know what it's called now, but who cares? It's at Game Rage Mag there. Additionally, if you feel the need to really show your appreciation, which you should, then go to their website at www.GameRageMagazine.com and show us some love. Show them some love. And show some love for the natural lad, Jet Swag.